To continue the previous video, I'll read the next topic of the book. The topic is the difference between success and failure. If human emotions largely result from thinking, then one may appreciably control one's feelings by controlling one's thoughts, or by changing the internalized sentences or self-talk with which one largely created the feeling in the first place. That quote comes from Albert Ellis, one of the forefathers of modern psychology. Ellis found that how we think and talk about our experiences shifts the way we feel about them. In short, our thoughts are bedfellow with our emotions. Ellis also found that the way we think can often be completely irrational. Consider how many times you told yourself something like, "I'm so stupid," "I always mess things up," "My life is over," or some negative description of an event like, "This is the worst thing that ever happened to me." Raise your hand if you ever completely overreacted to something that, in hindsight, barely registered on the important meter. Okay, put your hand down. People are watching and you're starting to look a bit silly. If you look back, you see that in the instant before that seemingly random overreaction, you had a flash of outrageous self-talk. Bang! And off you go with your good stuff. Some of the things we say and do aren't always particularly rational, but we seem to say and do them anyway. In addition, we never really see what we are leaving ourselves with, or the emotional residue of engaging in even the mildest of negative self-talk. You see, it's not always dramatic self-talk. Sometimes it's subtle but equally disempowering. If you're working on something, you might think, "This is so hard. What if I don't finish in time?" Or worry about all the different ways you can mess up, which leave you in an anxious or worried state. Sometimes negative self-talk leads to anger, sadness, or frustration that manifests in different or seemingly unrelated situations. This kind of self-talk doesn't make your life any easier. The more you tell yourself how hard something is, the harder it will actually seem. Unfortunately, since we are constantly listening to a steady stream of our automatic inner thoughts and have become so accustomed to the critical voice in our heads, we often don't realize how negative thoughts impact our mood and behavior in any given moment, and as a result, we end up doing or not doing things our rational minds want us to do. For a simple example, take a moment to think about the daily chores you dread the most, or because you build them up in your mind to be something worse than they really are. We sometimes avoid simple things like folding laundry and unloading the dishwasher. Then they actually take little time and effort. With enough of these little persistent items hanging around, it's easy to collapse them in with the bigger, more important things until we find ourselves overwhelmed or exhausted by life. Why do we resist certain things in our lives? We have a personal conversations about those kind of tasks that is firmly rooted in some negative opinion. Look in your own life for stuckness, you see what I mean. You have a pretty serious self-talk blockage. So we almost read 12 pages of the book. Thanks for reading together and see you next time.